Missy from the blog RamblingRoseFarmhouse.com, and today I'm going to show you how I make venison jerky for my family. It's one of their favorite snacks, and so that's what we're going to do. The most important thing when you're using venison for any recipe, and this is a roast that I'm using, is to cut all of the white off. The white on venison is what makes it taste bad. It makes it taste real gamey. So that's the most important thing, is you want to make sure that you trim all of this off of your meat. Even if you have to lose some meat to do that, this is what you need to do. This is something a friend of mine, Melissa, taught me a long time ago, because I would never be happy with the way my venison recipes turned out. And she said, when you do it, you cut it all off. And so that's what you need to do. Even when you look, sometimes it's not real, it's not a big thick white piece like this. It's just a really thin kind of a membrane there. And you want to get all of that off of your meat in order to end up with a good product. So that is the first step in making your jerky, is to trim your meat up, get all of this off. And then when you get a hunk of meat like this that doesn't have any white left on it, you want to slice it into about 1/4 inch strips, and you want to slice with the grain. So that is pretty easy to do. And just be as consistent as you can when you slice it, so that all of your meat will dehydrate at the same speed, and some won't get done before the others. But what I do usually is I just keep checking it when it starts getting close to time to make sure that I don't have some that's ready, and if I do, I just take them out and then let the other keep going. But what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to mix up my marinade. And it's a real simple recipe. You could change your spices and things up according to what you like, but this is basic one, and I'm going to give you that recipe, and then you can go from there. So we have the ingredients that I'm putting in here is soy sauce, Lee and Perrins, ketchup, and then my dry spices are salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I'm going to stir that up really well. And then when I do venison, I always add some water. So I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of water to this. I find that the meat already has kind of a strong taste to it. And so if I don't add water, it's just a little bit too strong. So you could do it the first time without any water if you wanted to, and then go from there, deciding whether you needed to kind of thin it down a little bit. And then I'm just going to add my sliced meat in here, and then it will be ready to go in the refrigerator. The minimum amount of time that you would want to let it marinate would be an hour, up to several hours, or sometimes I do this before I go to bed at night, let it marinate all night, and then I put it on in the morning. Okay, so my meat's been marinating. I took it out of the refrigerator, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my sheets to put into the dehydrator. So that is really easy. You just take it out of your marinade and lay it out on your dehydrator sheets. And I have the little screens on here. They do make the solid ones, but I don't use the solid ones when I do my jerky. I use the screen ones, and it works perfect. And then what you need to do, if you have a dehydrator, is you need to check your book and see what it tells you, what temperature to do it at, and for how long. Mine is, the temperature is 155 for 5 to 6 hours. And so as soon as I get it all laid out on the sheets like this, I'm gonna put it on. And you can see you can lay it pretty close together. I don't usually put it touching because I want enough air to circulate around it. But it doesn't have to have a lot of space around it. Okay, so when I get one loaded up like this, I just slide it in my dehydrator, which I know you can't see, but I will get it out and show you whenever I take it out of the dehydrator after it's done. If you have a whole lot of marinade, most of mine absorb into my meat, but if you have a whole lot, you might want to drain your meat before you lay it out on your dehydrator sheets. So we will be back in a few hours when this is finished dehydrating. Okay, I'm back, and I moved my dehydrator over here where you could see it when I unload it. So it's been about 5 hours since I put the jerky in here, and it looks like it's about ready to me, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out so that you can see what it looks like when it's done. And so here it is on the tray of the dehydrator. This piece hit something coming out, but it should be dried out, but yet still bendable. If it's brittle, then you over dehydrate it a little bit. So this is still very bendable, but it is dry. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out, and this will be gone probably shortly because people are going to attack it because they really like it. Okay. I have one more tray with some more of it on here. Put this on the plate. So if you liked this video and you like learning things like this, I'll be posting more videos on homemaking skills, farm and garden, and food from scratch. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like my video, and that will help me to grow my channel. So I appreciate that. And also, if you go to my website, ramblingrosefarmhouse.com, you can find the exact recipe and all the amounts and everything that I used. So thanks for joining me today in my farmhouse kitchen.